Firstly, we'd like to thank everybody involved for our nomination in UK Support Organisation. We are known for our keepsakes, our tiny coffins and clothing and our water burial kits. But what people don't see is the support that we offer our families via our inbox. You would naturally assume that we pack up our parcels and then send them to the post office and that's that. But no, we spend hours and hours counselling and offering comfort to our families in need. And occasionally we do find ourselves on the front line with them. This has happened recently with a lady who has experienced far more loss than anyone should have to cope with. Chantel sadly lost twins to miscarriage in 2008, only to find out that she was carrying twins again in 2016. Twin P was born at 8 weeks 3 days and his brother Forrest at 21 weeks 5 days gestation. These losses have meant that Chantel has reached out to us for help, and in her time of need we have comforted her. This year Chantel made the wonderful discovery that she was expecting another baby, but a week later was told the devastating news that she was going through another miscarriage. We prepared her a little coffin and a wrap set that baby would need and decided to deliver them ourselves. Coincidentally, on the morning of Saturday the 4th of August, myself, Amy, and Pinks arrived at Chantel's door to find her appearing very frail, and about 5 minutes after arriving she said she had felt something very large pass all of a sudden. We asked her to take a nappy to hold under her so that she could catch what she had passed safely. Pinks' daughter Saskia was with us, so she ushered the older children to their rooms whilst we tried to entertain her 1-year-old son. Chantel reappeared extremely tearful and was visibly shaking as she handed us what she had passed. Pinks asked Chantel if she wanted her to investigate the mass of blood to see if she could find the baby's body, and she agreed. Whilst I did my best to comfort Chantel and pacify her inquisitive children, Pinks put on some gloves and got a sieve to rinse the large clot to check that baby had been passed. It felt like forever as our hands shook, but we eventually identified the tiniest, most perfect baby still inside his gestational sac. I say he, but we all had a strong, almost spiritual feeling that the baby was in fact a boy. By this point, 2 of Chantel's daughters had filtered into the kitchen. They already guessed what was happening, as sadly they saw their brother Forrest born at home exactly 2 years earlier. Pinks asked Chantel if it was okay to explain things to them. She told them that the baby had been born to heaven and we were going to wrap him up ready to say goodbye. I opened up the wrap as Pinks gently placed baby inside using a teaspoon to position him, and we then placed him in his coffin. We asked Chantel and the girls to each give a kiss to one of our penny bears as we placed it inside the wrap to snuggle with baby in his coffin. We gave an identical bear to Chantel to keep. Next, she lay a tiny love heart blanket on top of him, whispered how much his family loved him and closed the lid. Chantel did a very good job to stay strong for her children, who were crying at such an awful time. Myself and Pinks had to hold back our tears, but as these were not ours to shed, we resisted till later. We then put his coffin inside an airtight container and placed him inside the fridge to keep him cool until Chantel was ready to lay him to rest. She had bought not 1 but 2 small trees to plant in memory of Forrest for his 2nd birthday the next day, but fate had played its hand in her baby loss story and knew that this baby should be buried on Forrest's special day, as his older brother would always look after him. The family have named their precious baby boy Phoenix Lee. We feel sad but honoured to have been there to help Chantel, and it wasn't until after we left that we let our own emotions go and we had a good cry together. But unfortunately, this is miscarriage. It's life and loss. It's death, it's saying goodbye, it's burial, it's raw, but it's real. Yet thousands of families experience this with no commonly given information and no way of seeking help. The families that come to us for help are those who have usually Googled because they weren't aware that our specialist services were available, therefore weren't aware that their tiny babies could get the dignity that they deserved. We will always be there for anyone, no matter their baby's gestation, and we will always offer our shoulders to cry on, because tears are better spent with a kind word to soften the pain, and every baby deserves our best, no matter how short a time we have with them, because they are still precious, still born, and they are still loved.